It's Erica
and Elyssa
with Disney Crazy. Today we are going to have a special episode, episode number 12, and we're going to be talking all about Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. We actually just got back from our vacation about 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, it was, about 2
We got
weeks
back
ago.
on the 5th or the 6th, the 6th I think, and we had a great time at Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. We've never done it before. This was our first time. We love Epcot anyhow, so yeah, it is one of our favorite parks. So we figured this year we would try out the Flower and Garden Festival and see what it was all about. So when we arrived at the park, we picked up one of these little passports, which says the Garden Passport, and in it lists all of the activities, all of the outdoor kitchens with all of the different offerings that they have at each one of the outdoor kitchens.
Of course, we couldn't get everything at every outdoor kitchen, but we got at least 2 things.
Yeah, we tried to get as much as we could, but after eating at quite a few, there's 11 countries, so after eating at quite a few of the different stops, we had pretty much gotten full. So, we wanted to share with you a few of the different things that we saw while we were at the Flower and Garden Festival. One of the first stops we went to was Tinkerbell's Butterfly Garden, which it was a really pretty garden, and it's enclosed, and you walk inside and there's like thousands of butterflies flying everywhere.
A bunch of flowers. It's really pretty in there.
Yeah, really pretty flowers. There's a lot of little, I call them Tinkerbell houses, which are really cool.
The little tiny like fairy houses.
Yeah, little fairy houses all scattered throughout. This is actually such a beautiful time of year at Epcot because they have all of the topiaries and all of the flowers. Another thing we saw was the floating gardens in the pools at Epcot, which were really pretty. They're actually floating. You could see them rotating and spinning in the water. They were really pretty. So we made our way towards the World Showcase, because that is where the majority of the Flower and Garden Festival events are. And on our way to World Showcase, there was a spot where we could stop and take a picture with the Goofy topiary. Goofy is playing soccer. And so we stopped and we took some action photos with Goofy, and
you can get in the scene, but it's like crossed off, so you're not like right close to the topiary, but you can still take a picture right next to it.
Yeah, you can get right in with the topiary. It's obviously not really Goofy, it's a Goofy topiary, but you could get right in front of the net so it looks like you're playing soccer with him in your photo. So as we went along into the World Showcase, we started at Mexico, and we worked our way clockwise around the showcase that way. So if you have gotten one of these books, we actually kind of did it backwards, because you'll notice that the Mexican Jardin de Fiestas, their outdoor kitchen is on the very last page, so we were working our way backwards. I think it kind of went counterclockwise. The book went counterclockwise. So it started in Canada and went the opposite way that we went. So we stopped at the Jardin, I think this is how you pronounce it, Jardin de Fiestas, which was our very first outdoor kitchen. And we tried the flan de chocolate abuelita. It's a Mexican chocolate custard. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't
eat it.
have that one because it wasn't gluten-free, but Alyssa and Sean shared it, so tell us what you think.
He took a bite of it, and then I ate the rest of it. It was really good. It was like a chocolate custard, like a chocolate mousse, and then it had like whipped cream on it, and it was really good.
It looked really good. I was really tempted to like take a bite out of it, but
I wouldn't.
they have all kinds of other offerings at the Jardin de Fiesta. They have a taco al pastor, which is a corn tortilla filled with achiote marinated pork, garnished with grilled diced pineapple, onion, and cilantro, which that one was gluten-free, but it was earlier in the day, so I didn't really feel like eating anything really much, so I just skipped that one. And then they had a quesadilla de hongos con queso, a flour tortilla filled with mushrooms and cheese. So those were the offerings at the Mexican outdoor kitchen called Jardin de Fiestas. And what's really cool about your little passport that you get as you're walking around Royal Showcase, each little kitchen or each little stop will give you a stamp in your book. So I don't know if you can see that little stamp.
And it's also cool because if you are walking by and you're hungry but you don't know what you're going to get, you can just look at your little passport and it says all the food at that place. So you can decide what you want.
So you know exactly what they have at each outdoor kitchen. And it's really nice too for those with allergies because it will tell you, like for me, for instance, I'm gluten-free. It tells you right in here that the item is gluten-free. So I knew exactly what I could eat. So then we headed on to, was it Japan? Was it Japan or is it China? I can't remember.
I think it was.
Next.
Hold on.
Lotus House?
It was China. We got the strawberry.
Yes. Was it China?
Was it China?
It must be China.
I think it was, it was China.
So the next stop that we stopped at, which is called the Lotus House, and that was the number 2 of the outdoor kitchens. We tried the Beijing style candied strawberries, which those are gluten-free, and those were really good. They're I'm going to show a picture of them right now. But those were basically a shish kebab with strawberries. And the strawberries are dipped in like a hard candy coating with like a sesame seed sprinkle on top of the coating.
Strawberry crunch.
So when you bite into it, it's not like soft like a caramel apple. It's like a crunchy. hard taste, which
but
was
it's not
really
like really
good.
chewy. It's like you take a bite of it and
it dissolved in your mouth. Right. It was really, really good. So that's what we got from Lotus House.
So if you have braces, you can eat that.
Yeah, Alyssa has braces and she was able to eat it. And we all liked that one. We all shared that one. They also had a spring pancake with grilled chicken and green apple and a vegetable spring roll. And the vegetable spring roll is marked as vegetarian as well. So, like I said, it tells you not only if it's gluten-free, but if it's vegetarian. They also had quite a few adult beverages at each one of the kitchens, but I didn't have anything. Sean did get a beer at one of them. And again, we got our stamp, and they wrote something in Chinese on the bottom.
I think they said Elyssa Dream Come True.
Yeah,
I think that's what they said.
I think that's what it says. But yeah, so we got our second stamp in our passbook. Our third stop was the Florida Fresh Outdoor Kitchen, and this was one of my favorites. We got the watermelon salad with pickled onions. Farm baby arugula, feta cheese, and balsamic reduction, which that is gluten-free and vegetarian. And we all shared that. That was really, really good.
And we also
got the watermelon passion fruit slushie, which
I drank
that
most
was
of it,
good.
But that was really
Alyssa drank most of that one, but we all shared everything that we got, so we each got to try a little bit of something. Since we were eating at each stop, you know, a little bit was fine for each of us. It wasn't like we were having a meal at each stop. And again, we got our little stamp. Then we stopped at the Primavera Kitchen. Now this was in Italy, or getting close to the Italy Pavilion, I believe. And we decided to have the caprese, which was mozzarella, roasted pepper, and olio verde, which was like an olive oil on the top. And it was so good.
Oh
that was delicious. I'm a huge fan of tomato, basil, mozzarella anyhow, and this was really good. Alyssa and I shared it. Sean had a bite of it, but I think we pretty much ate most of it, the two of us.
It's a little different because it has peppers and like
Right.
like with when we have like tomato, basil, mozzarella, we don't have peppers in it, but it was really good with the peppers.
Yeah, it was a yellow pepper and a red pepper. Yeah, it was
yeah.
roasted yellow and red pepper that was added to it, and the olive oil drizzled on top was delicious. They also had a 3-cheese manicotti, which was an egg pasta stuffed with ricotta, mozzarella, parmesan, and tomato sauce. And then they had a torta di ricotta, which was a lemon cheesecake, limoncello, and marinated strawberries. And all 3 of the options were vegetarian, but the only one that was gluten-free was the caprese. So we got our stamp, our little tomato stamp at the Primavera Kitchen. And then we went on to... This was my least favorite out of all of the kitchens. I was not happy with this one at all. It was the Smokehouse barbecue and Brews in the American Pavilion. I don't know why, but every time we go to the American Pavilion, I'm disappointed.
Because everyone, I didn't do Kick Up Fun Stop this time, but the time I went before, I did, and I went to get my stamp, and the people there are really kind of rude. Like, they don't say hi, they're just
I found that the American Pavilion is just really kind of not in the Disney spirit. I don't know. I'm never really happy when I go there. But we figured we'd give them the benefit of the doubt and try them out. And we tried the smoked turkey rib and then the Piggylicious bacon cupcake, which I didn't actually try the Piggylicious cupcake because it wasn't gluten-free, but Sean and Alyssa did. They did have a gluten-free smoked brisket with collard greens and jalapeno cornbread, which I kind of wish I tried that instead of the smoked turkey rib because I wasn't impressed with the smoked turkey rib.
Or the Piggylicious, that wasn't very good. The only thing that was good on the Piggylicious was the frosting. It's a bacon cupcake.
And it had maple frosting and it had like pretzel crunch nuggets on the top. But I think I'm so used to the turkey legs, like the smoked turkey legs that we get at like the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, and those are just so like juicy and they have such a good flavor that when I tried the smoked turkey rib, I was kind of expecting it to be along the lines of that, and it wasn't. It was kind of dry. It was definitely very smoky tasting, but it wasn't a lot of meat on the bone, and it just seemed really dry.
It was a lot more fat on the bone than like regular just good meat.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about any of that, but we tried it and got our stamp. Action. All right, so one of my favorite stops at the Flower and Garden Festival was in the Japan Pavilion, and that was at the Hanami Outdoor Kitchen. This is where they had the frushi, which was the fruit sushi, which was so good. I wish they had more than 3 on a plate because we all just got one little bite, and we probably should have gotten another one because it was so good. But the frushi is pineapple, strawberries, and melon rolled with coconut rice, served with raspberry sauce, sprinkled with toasted coconut and whipped cream on the side. It was so good. And it was gluten-free.
And
vegetarian. They also had the tamaki chicken hand roll. They had a hanami sushi and a popped rice cake, which was Japanese puffed rice cake with green tea, whipped cream, and azuki,
which is vegetarian.
So they had quite a few things on the list, but the frushi is like by far the most popular, and it was really good. So then, and we got our stamp, as you can see again. After Japan, we headed over to Morocco, and this is where we stopped at Taste of Marrakesh, and we ordered the Harissa chicken kebab with couscous salad. Now, this isn't a gluten-free, so I actually just took a little bite of the chicken because I didn't know for sure if there was like gluten in the sauce or not, but Sean and Alyssa tried it, and they said it was really good. They also had a lamb bratwurst roll with prunes and sesame, and they had bagrier It's a Moroccan pancake with honey, almonds, and argan oil.
And that's vegetarian.
And that is vegetarian. Sean also got a Casa beer at this outdoor kitchen. He said it was really good. This is the only beer that he got on the whole trip, so I was really surprised. Normally he likes to get a beer at most of the restaurants we go to, but he tried a Casa beer out of Morocco and he liked it. He said it was really good. And so that was Morocco. Now, I think this was my favorite outdoor kitchen in the whole tour of the lands. And it was at the Fleur de Lis in France Pavilion. And it was the macaroon à la fleur d'orange. And it was an orange blossom macaroon with white chocolate ganache, and it was gluten-free. And we actually even stopped and got a second one because I loved it, and I think I almost ate the second one all by myself without sharing.
I think you shared a little bit with Dad, but I got myself like a chocolate crepe or something.
That's right, you got a chocolate crepe. And then I ate most of the orange macaroon. It was so good. It had such a floral taste to it. I'm not huge on those floral tastes, but this one was so good. And it was cold. They like kept them in a freezer, and it wasn't frozen, but it was cold. So when you bit into it, it was almost the consistency of an ice cream, but not quite as cold as ice cream. It was really good. And they also had gnocchi Parisienne à la Provençale, which was Parisian-style dumplings with vegetables and mushrooms, which is vegetarian. And they had another gluten-free option, which was confit de canard pommes de terre sarlades, which is pulled duck confit with garlic and parsley potatoes. There were a few outdoor kitchens at the Flower and Garden Festival that we didn't get to stop at, only because they were along the end of our day and we'd already eaten so much and we were so full. So we didn't get to stop at the Buttercup Cottage, but they actually had a lot of things that looked really good. They had a freshly baked potato with cheddar cheese biscuit and smoked salmon tartare. They had field greens with Plant City strawberries, toasted almonds, and Farmstead Stilton, which I don't know what Stilton is. They had a pork and apple sausage roll with house-made piccalilli. Piccalilli. And they had a fresh baked lemon scones with berry preserves and creme fraiche. That was vegetarian as well. So we didn't get to stop there, and we didn't get to stop at the Pineapple Promenade, which I was really looking forward to only because we love the Dole Whips, and here you can actually get a Dole Whip served with Myers rum, which I was really looking forward to.
We also didn't stop at the Urban Farm Eats, which is another place there where we're gonna get.
That was along the beginning. Yeah, we didn't stop there only because it was early in the day, and we didn't really feel like having a meal yet, and they had things that were more, like they had the ghost pepper dusted tilapia, they had the land-grown eggplant scallop with romesco sauce and spaghetti squash, and they had the pickled beet salad with goat cheese and cream and mizuna and pistachios, and those two were both gluten-free. So we didn't stop there. So it was a few places that we didn't get to stop at. But we did try to get to most of the other places. We got to see Mike and Sully's Monstrous Garden. We got to see Mater's Parks, Plants, and Play Garden.
Stamp there.
We got a stamp there. The Waterwise Herb and Vegetable Garden. We got a stamp there. Let's see, where else did we get stamps? Oh! We also went to they have the Indoor Festival Center, which is over near Ellen DeGeneres Ride. It's the big domed building, which you don't usually get to go in, but they had that opened up with like all of the festival happenings. They had like a special speaker that day.
They also had this little snack bar area where we got these amazing tomato, basil, mozzarella push-up pops.
Yeah, they were little mini Capri Pops.
You push them up, and
they were only $1, and you just pop it right in your mouth, and it was really good. So they had those there. They also had a cool little center for the kids to build some sand art, and that was free too. You don't have to pay for it. You don't very often get freebies at Disney, so that was a nice little free extra. Elyssa got to build a little sand art to take home with her. And yeah, they had a lot of other things like that you could purchase in the festival center there. They had topiary, like a garden statue topiaries of Mickey and Minnie and Goofy. I'm sorry, not Goofy. Mickey and Minnie and Daisy and Donald, I believe. They had wind chimes. They had all kinds of tips on different ways to do gardens. I brought home some paperwork on different garden tips that I'm going to actually try in my own garden. But one of the really cool souvenirs that we decided to pick up while we were there is this awesome little print. And we actually were lucky enough to get it signed by the artist. He was actually there, Larry Dotson, and he signed the picture, the little print. He actually drew this print. This is actually a print, but he actually drew the picture, and it's of the 2014 Flower and Garden Festival, and he signed it for us, and he said, "Best wishes to the King family, Larry Dotson." And so it's called Vacation Memories, and we are going to frame this, and I'm going to put it probably up in my office upstairs. So this was one really cool little souvenir that we got to bring home with us to remember the Flower and Garden Festival. So what was your favorite part of the Flower and Garden Festival?
Trying all the different
Trying all the different foods. Me too. I really like that. We've eaten at quite a few of the different lands, but it was nice to not have to go in and, purchase a quick service meal or purchase a sit-down meal. It was nice to just stop at the little kiosk and just get something easy and go from one to the next.
Something small, something...
Yeah. So our next thing we're going to have to try is in the fall when they do the Food and Wine Festival. I'd really like to try that because they have all new outdoor kitchens with all new food and tasting areas at each one of the lands.
We were there last time, weren't we? Not this past time.
I think we were there, but I
didn't start
don't think they had it right. We left just before it started. So another little souvenir that Elyssa got at the China Pavilion while we were there was her cool little hat, and it came in very handy because it started to rain, and it was almost like an umbrella. It's coated, so the rain ran right off of it, and she didn't even have to use an umbrella while we were there because she'd have her little hat on.
I didn't even get wet.
So that is all about our experience at the Flower and Garden Festival. If you do get a chance to check it out, I know this year is pretty much done, but if you're definitely interested in seeing what it's all about, we really highly recommend going, maybe in 2015. And I know in April, right after April vacation, is a great time to go because the weather is nice and it's not super crowded. And if you'd like more information on booking your vacation to see the Flower and Garden Festival in 2015, make sure you send me a message because I am also an authorized Disney vacation planner and I can help you plan your vacation to Disney. So message me below if you have any questions or if you want more information, and we will see you again. Make sure
next time,
don't be too Disney crazy.